America First Policy Institute Chief Communications Officer Marc Lotter. I want to play this soundbite from the Justice Samuel Alito, Mark, and get your take on it, because it sounds to me like what he's saying is, it's about time we actually follow the law. Watch.
Congress has established its own set of priorities and has said that certain categories of aliens must be detained, shall be detained. And the final memorandum tells ICE officers, don't do that.
So he wants to follow the law, but ICE doesn't want to do that. Your thoughts on this, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, that's the fundamental crux of this case is Congress makes the laws, not the executive branch. They execute the laws. And right now, they're just choosing not to execute the laws they don't like. That's not how it works. If you want to change the law, go back to Congress. But what we have is a serious problem that's going to get worse. And I think you're going to see the Supreme Court step in and force the Biden administration to actually do its job rather than just keep turning a blind eye to it.
Yeah, and it's not just Republicans who are fed up with this, David, because, you look at this letter. This was written by Senators Mark Kelly, Kirsten Sinema, Tester in Montana, Hassan from New Hampshire, to Mayorkas, saying, quoting here, record annual encounters have led to untenable situations in Arizona. Shelters have been forced well beyond capacity this month. El Paso has seen over 700 migrants released directly onto city streets due to overcrowding. This is not safe and creates a dangerous situation for migrants and communities. I mean, it kind of feels like everybody's had enough, David. Your thoughts?
Well, the executive branch is charged with executing the law and making sure that America is safe. And by having this process play out in the Supreme Court and overturning the White House's decision to go after our most dangerous illegal immigrants, that's a step in the wrong direction. 11 million illegal aliens in this country. How do we expect the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, to go and deport each and every one of these illegal immigrants? It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. If we can prioritize and go after our most dangerous, those that possess the greatest threat to our society, that's going to make a big difference. How
about we secure the border in the first place? How about we go back to doing what we were doing just a couple of years ago? We could actually secure the border, and then when the DHS secretary goes before Congress and they ask him, is the border secure, and he says yes, well, then it wouldn't be dishonest. I want to move on because the White House is now watching Twitter. Marc Lotter. They're watching Twitter. They weren't watching Twitter 2.5 months ago, but they're watching it now because of misinformation, which, of course, is information that the Democrats don't like. Your thoughts?
Yeah, there is nothing more un-American than the White House monitoring, a private media company, but also a private media company that's supporting free speech. I mean, this is something that would be straight out of Putin's Russia or communist China. I don't need President Biden or the White House's permission to exercise my free speech rights. And if Elon Musk wants to restore free speech and the marketplace, that's what his job is. This is just censorship through a third party.
Yeah, David, Jonathan Turley writes this on FoxNews.com, quoting here, the problem is that censorship only works if it is complete. If there are alternative sources for information, free speech is like water. It finds a way out. That's why Democratic members pressured cable carriers to drop Fox News, the most popular cable news network on television. And now suddenly they want to go after Twitter, because if they don't have Twitter, I mean, they still have Facebook, right, and Instagram and the others. But, boy, if you don't have Twitter, some of this information might sneak out.
Well, I wouldn't say they're going after Twitter. This was in response to a direct question about what's going on here and what's the White House doing. And the response was they're monitoring the situation. And I think that's the right response, because the problem here is that, yes, we need to defend our First Amendment right vigorously. But at the same time, we have to defend people's right to safety. And when we see violence being deliberated over the Internet, whether it's on Twitter or any social media platform, we have to be careful. And we have to do what we can to protect our First Amendment right, and at the same time, make sure we dial down the rhetoric and stop the hate wherever we can.
We're going to talk a little bit more about this later on. David, Mark, thank you both. Appreciate it.